Hi, I'm Braden Williams. I'm going to talk to you today about foundational drawing. I'm going to draw some cubes. Cubes are really great when you're learning to draw and just starting out, or at any time. They have regular proportions, they have nice regular angles, and they have a simple perspective that's really good to help you when you're learning to draw what you see. So join me as I draw the cube. Before I start, I want to talk about what I have to draw with, or draw on. I use these plastic clamps to clamp a drawing board to a plank that I just lean against the wall. If you'd like, you could buy an expensive easel and use that, and it probably would last you a long time. But if you don't have the money for that, you can put a simple setup together pretty cheaply. One thing I want to talk about before I start is with these cubes, I said they have a simple perspective, but what's easy is to make the perspective what they call inverted perspective. And that's when you make this part, which is nearer to you, narrower than this part, which is farther. Anytime you use perspective, you want whatever is farther away to appear smaller. So this distance here would appear smaller than this distance. Likewise, this distance would appear smaller than this distance. And this one. So as you're drawing your cube, that's one way to gauge how accurate you're making it. If you look at the far lines and they're longer than the near ones, then maybe you need to reassess how your cube is going. So anytime you are drawing, it's good to start out general and work to details. It's not going to be a very good idea if I just start, drawing on a section of the cube here and working on a perfect, lines and stuff. And then when I get to the rest of it, I realize it's too big for the page or it's too small. So it's a really good idea to work light and rough to detailed. So with that said, I'm going to start with some of the angles. Start laying them in lightly. I'm looking at back and forth between my page and my drawing. My drawing in the cube as much as possible without making myself dizzy. And I'm trying to make sure not only the angles of the lines, but I'm checking on the proportions of the shapes or forms that I'm making. As I lay in the beginning lines, I go back over and refine where they're supposed to be. As you can see, I'm holding my pencil like this, like maybe more similar to way you might hold a sword or something. It's a great way to make large, broad lines compared to if I was holding it like this. It's good for more detail work. If I'm doing this, it's a lot harder. I really gotta move my arm in weird ways to get the lines. But if I hold it like this, I can make nice, straight lines quickly. When you're drawing this way, it's important to use your whole arm. Draw from the shoulder, they say. This will help keep those lines straight, because your arm wants to move on an arc. It wants to make these arc-shaped movements. So if you move your whole arm, it can help reduce that. So I'm just doing what I said, which is working from broad to fine, general to specific. I'm going to come back in and clean up some of my marks with my kneaded eraser. As you get going and you like what you see, you can really start to put in some interesting, specific lines to it. You can make your lines nice and varied, thicker in one part, thinner in the other. This, just plus more time, is how you get your cube. I can see here this line looks, as I look more, it already looks a little too shallow, so I need to bring it up a little bit. And you'll find that as you draw, you start to realize that you didn't see it as well when you first started as you do now. The more you look at something, the more you can see what is going on. Although typically you get to a point when you've looked at it too much and you can't see it anymore. And you need to come back the next day when you have a fresh eye. So there we have it. Drawing cubes. Thanks for watching.